Okay. So the next thing on our agenda is in-flight classes.
In-flight classes.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So you want me to do it or you do it?
Can I grab the keyboard?
Yeah, sure. Okay, you're gonna. Doesn't make it as. So how did I pass the keyboard to you?
It's magic.
Okay.
It's magic.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, Wing has classes, right? And when you define a class here in the root scope of Wing, by definition, you're defining a pre-flight class. So everything that's part of the infrastructure of your application. So in this case, the foo class is a pre-flight class, but that means that if I have an in-flight closure, let's see, I have an in-flight closure, I cannot create an instance of the pre-flight class. Where's the mouse? Did we have any? Why do we have an echo? Dana, maybe you?
Now.
Okay.
Now.
There we go.
Piece of cake. Yeah, I'm so sorry guys for this. It's a large fault.
Okay, so we see that we cannot create a pre-flight class foo in an in-flight phase because foo is an object that can contain infrastructure resources. For example, one of the things that I can do here is I can go and
I told you.
Keyboard.
I told you. I knew you're gonna.
I'm gonna hate the keyboard.
Yeah.
I can actually create a bucket. I can actually include a bucket in this inside this class. Oh. And so basically there's no way for me to create an instance of foo in the in-flight phase. Right? Like I can create an instance of foo here, and I can interact with it from here. So I can say foo.bindBucket.put, whatever, right? Now, there are cases where I actually want to create classes that I'm using inside my in-flight code, right? Like my application class. Let's say I have a user type, right? And so a user type is a class that basically can be used in in-flight. I can instantiate it inside an in-flight closure. And the way you create classes like this in Wing is by saying in-flight class user. Let's say I have first name and last name, and I can say first, last, whatever, some example.
Can you remove the new foo? That's good.
Yeah.
And then this thing, exactly. Okay.
And so now basically I defined a class and I specified the in-flight modifier, which means that this is an in-flight class and I can actually instantiate it inside an in-flight closure. So I can do create user. Yeah, Karen. And I can play with it and do whatever I want.
Right.
Now, there's also a use case where I want to create an in-flight class when I want to declare a class inside an in-flight closure. And so I can do this here, right?
Nice.
So that's the same thing, right? Like I don't have to specify this as an in-flight class because I'm already within an in-flight scope.
Can I challenge you? Is this? Yeah. I mean, because the next thing is we have base classes. Can this in-flight class extend the outer in-flight class?
Ooh. Let's see. Extend user. Extends.
Yeah.
User. Seems like it's not hating me, at least.
Yeah, but you have to call the init, right? I mean, interesting.
No, okay. I need to do this, and then I can call super, right?
Right.
And I need to specify, let's say,
Yeah.
wow, I hate this keyboard so much.
Yeah.
And then I can basically do this, right?
So all the person inside that Inflight are young Karen. I think that's a nice. I think
Yeah, this
John
is
Malkovich made a movie.
John-
Being John Malkovich. Okay.
Exactly. And so this is also it's also important to mention that when you're defining an Inflight class, there's no need to specify that a method is an Inflight method, right? Like that's also implicit.
Right.
You can specify it, but like there's no need to do that because every method in an Inflight class is an Inflight method, which is not true for pre-flight classes, right? Like if I had a pre-flight class here, and I wanted to say, this is the classic example. Oh. Wow, these.
Okay, I hope you're
Mark,
seeing.
I hope you're seeing.
I hope you're seeing the Inflight
snippet.
It's great when you need it, and not great when you don't need it.
Very not great when you don't need it. Okay,
nice.
And so now you see that this pre-flight class has an in-flight method, and so when I instantiate it, and this is
a pre-flight.
Yeah, pre-flight method.
That's called method.
Pref.
Okay.
You can see that I can call the pre-flight method from here because it's a pre-flight scope. And if I'm here inside my in-flight scope, or let's say I'm inside this scope, right? Like
now you got me confused. Okay.
Now I'm calling. This is
Okay.
It's a pretty.
Yeah, I see.
But it's actually working, right?
Yeah.
Like I can actually define a pre-flight class here,
Yeah.
an in-flight, declare an in-flight class here, declare a method for that, an in-flight method, and capture this foo across the
kind of really bad programming to capture an instance of a class inside the declaration of a different.
Correct.
I mean, it's not. There's some.
Yeah, I mean, think about a const, right? As in
exactly.
Maybe a less horrible example.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's it. That's in-flight classes, basically.
And
it's
base
like
classes.
actually regular classes. It's basically nothing special about them.
And base classes and
we also showed base classes.
Yeah, and I want to kind of put some emphasis on the maneuver I did because the time was running out. So I said, let's do base classes. It's always a challenge to
Exactly. Nice move. Nice maneuver.
Awesome.